Welcome to Talking Dentures, where Simon answers all your questions about dentures.
Yeah, okay, so we've got another question today, and this one is from Awkward Audrey. And Audrey asked the question, how long does it take to get used to new dentures? Well, Audrey, it's different for everyone. If you've never worn dentures before, then it's going to take you a bit longer than somebody who's worn them for 30 years. However, it's not as straightforward with that. As with all things in dentistry, it's never a straightforward answer. So, if you've worn a denture for 30 years and it's the same denture, and then it's just after 30 years it's not going to be a very good condition, that denture, and then you get a brand new one, the denture's going to be thicker, the bite's going to be more open because the teeth are not worn down. It's going to feel alien, and for somebody wearing something in their mouth, the exact same thing for 30 years and getting used to it, to then having to try and get used to something brand new and alien in their mouth, it's going to take a lot longer than it would for somebody that's maybe had a denture for 5 years. It's a bit worn out, it's looking a little bit, a little bit dirty, and they just want a new one. In those sort of situations, you've had a denture for 5 years, you get a new one, it's relatively quick. And in that sort of situation, we'd probably be looking at a couple of days for most people to sort of start getting used to the new shape of the denture, certainly in terms of speech and eating and things like that. A couple of days, but can take up to a couple of weeks. If you've had a denture in for 30 years and it's worn out and you've got really attached to it and love it, and but you're in a position where you need to get a new one because it's just falling apart, then it's going to take you a little bit longer. So you're probably looking at a couple of months rather than a couple of weeks of perseverance, of learning how to talk with them again, learning how to eat with them. For somebody who's never worn a denture before, is a little bit more of a tricky one. Some people just take to them straight away, and within a couple of weeks they're fine. And it's the people that have usually got a lot of problems. So they've got mobile teeth, their natural teeth are sort of moving, their gums are bleeding, they're in pain, in discomfort, they can't eat, they have teeth extracted, a temporary denture goes in, and they get used to it really quickly, because what they had before was a lot more difficult to use or to try and eat with a mouth in that sort of condition than it is actually now to eat with a denture that's a lot more firm than their loose teeth. And before, with all the missing teeth and gaps and things, they might have had a lisp with, not being able to form their words properly. And now a denture is in and it's replacing those missing teeth. It's back more natural to what their mouth should be like. And so their speech is better. They feel more confident. And because they feel more confident that they can just smile, they just feel better about themselves. So any sort of discomfort with the denture is almost not as bad, because they've got so many more improvements in their life from wearing the denture. So not a straightforward answer to that one, a little bit more nuanced. I'm sure there's lots of different variations to those sort of situations, but in general, if you're wearing a denture, it's only going to take a few weeks to get used to another denture. And if you've been wearing a denture for a long time, then it's going to take you a longer time to get used to a new one. Hope that helped. Okay guys, don't forget to send us your questions in. Don't use your real name, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to send us your questions. There's a link in the description below. Bye.